I just hopped off an interview with my client, Francis. He's a 41-year-old doctor in New York City. Since joining, Francis has literally gone from zero romantic experience, yes, zero, to over 100 dates. Here's his before and after in terms of online dating. In the video, you're actually going to hear a lot more than just online dating. You're going to hear about his transformation in terms of cold approach, social skills, inner growth, growth as a businessman, earning more money, expanding as a person overall. I'm really excited for this one. This is literally about the transformation of a man who was on the brink of not having any romantic hope at all at age 40 to one who has an abundance of options now and is a completely new man. Let's jump into it. Hey guys, I'm here with my client, Francis, today. We've been working together for the last 2 or so years, and he's been one of the most, if not the most dramatic transformations I've seen through my coaching program in the last 2 to 3 years. So it's been an amazing journey together. Today we're here to share his story so that he can tell about, all the things that he's learned, all the things that he's gone through. So first of all, Francis, thank you for being here. Yeah. Why don't you give us a little bit of background about you, yourself, and then also why you entered my dating program in the first place?
So I had, in a sense, the American dream come true. Okay. Or my parents' American dream.
Sure, got it.
In terms of, I'm a doctor, right? And you have some sort of professional job that's secure. You can have certain salary and then you feel safe, which was my parents' primary, a big important value for them because of their history, being immigrants and things like that.
Right.
But then I went through all of that. Undergrad, med school, residency. I was age 31. I had my first job. And then it was immediately my parents, okay, where are our grandchildren? And where's your wife? And things like that. And before that, I did almost everything that they wanted. Even medical school, frankly, I didn't have a strong desire to go, but sure, I didn't have any strong desire to do something else. So it was okay. But essentially it was, now we want to dictate the rest of your adult life for you, not just, because up to then, school was like you're preparing for this career, professional life, etc. And then once important things for me is that before that, I had almost no any sort of romantic dating experience.
Yeah.
There were people that maybe I liked or said I told them I liked them, but it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
No kissing or holding hands but yeah. I did have one person in my 30s that I went a little further, meaning we kissed, but then otherwise I was just lost. So it was the combination of this pressure to continue becoming someone I'm not, to fit in other people's model for me.
Yep.
And what am I doing with my lack of love life? And then now this was my mid 30s, and this was when COVID was happening, 2019, right before. And I told myself, I got to quit my job.
Yep.
And then COVID happened, which I think for me, a lot of other people was kind of like a death and a reset and a sort of things. And that helped me gain time to just what I want.
Sure.
And then fast forward a tiny bit more, I was 38 years old. And then I realized, the thing that's toughest more for me, the thing that has the least momentum, the least anything happening, and the most fear or anxiety or just need or lack of was dating, romance, intimacy, sexuality, all of the above. But at this point, I've learned the importance and the value of investing time, effort, money into people that can help me.
Right.
As I always say, information is there, but doesn't mean it somehow you get results just because you know the information. But thankfully, I had the information knowing if I get someone to help me and invest in that, then me putting in that, whatever, money, attention, energy will get me something. This was now the summer of 2022. And I think it was that week or that month, I did some sort of year planning, envisioning for my life. I said, well, I need to look at, I had some money issues, parent issues, career issues because I quit my job, etc. But then I don't know why, but I somehow landed on dating as the part that needed the most anything happening. It was just continuing the least developed, cultivated space in my life. And then I was on Facebook, and then this guy just messaged me, and it just popped up. And it was, I don't know exactly what this guy said. This guy, Alex, and to you, and it was something along the lines of, I'm Asian, you're Asian. I help Asian guys with this particular issue in their life. Are you having this particular issue in your life? I don't remember, something like that. And I think I said, after 2 minutes, 3 minutes of that text conversation, oh, great. I was actually literally looking for someone like you. So you saved me the trouble of finding you. I was like, oh, okay, great. I summoned you, or like destiny, or fated destiny. And then I signed up, I think it was almost immediately, because I just said, okay, that's exactly what I was looking for. And then I started the actual program in last quarter of 2022. So I think it was November I started actually looking at the information and the program. And then, let's see. And I went through the process. There were multiple steps in terms of, it was very laid out. Very, very, I won't say no-brainer, but you don't need, all the information and instructions you need is just right there. It was very concise, clear, and with super active support from you, the community created, et cetera. I did slack a little bit in the beginning, and whether or not there were valid excuses or life, whatever. But eventually, I got to the point where I was actually meeting people in person. So I had my first date through the program, I think in May or June of 2023. And no, actually, I remember the biggest wow was, okay, this is what we're going to do for a profile. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to change, and hire a photographer, get these clothes, show me the clothes you're buying. I'll tell you what's good or not. It's just A, B, C, check. And then I changed my profile. And then the next day I had 20 likes on my profile. That was 10 times, I don't know, I'm exaggerating, 5 times the number of likes I've had ever in any dating apps my entire life before. Like, whoa, okay. I mean, I already knew something was going to happen, but having some sort of visual reality change just makes it real. At that point, then you said, okay, I would like you, I see this potential in you. I forgot how you phrased it, but then you said, hey, you want to do this one-on-one? It costs this amount of money, and we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And, but it's not like I had dating coach, personal development budget lying around, but say, well, yeah, this is important. So let's go. And then this is when things just skyrocketed. Let's see. What I really liked was we really targeted the issue and what is the next thing we need to do. I remember the first thing was just like back every single girl that liked you because that is what we're doing right now. You're not going to get married to all 20 of these girls or something along those lines, because that's part of my problem. I thought way too far ahead.
Yep.
So it's just do this one thing, just the next step, and then flash forward a couple of months. Had my first few awkward dates. There was the dating modules, which is very, very, very good. Again, just very useful, very clear. But knowing the information and doing it is, again, but then going to the date was the first thing. Okay, now I went. Now I went on the date. Okay, now you can do the next part. Okay, for me, I gamify things.
Helps a lot.
So, okay, we accomplished this achievement. So, okay, going on the date, can't advance kiss other girl the date unless you go on the date in the first place. So that I went on dates. So far, since July of 2023, I think I met 100 girls. I went on 100 first dates.
All right.
100 first dates.
All right.
And as I don't know, lack of a better term, accumulated the experience, then it was, okay, your next achievement. We didn't use those terms, but for me, it's
a game of
it's okay. Now go for the kiss on the lips on your first date. And I used to catastrophize. Oh no, what if the girl, I don't know, stabbed me in the face, there's a coffee on me, or calls the cops, and none of that happened. And I realized a lot of mind shift changes, and I don't know if they're beliefs or whatever it is. It's the reality changed. Whatever the words are, just my reality changed and how I saw reality. It's, girls, there are girls that literally, really actually like me and are disappointed if actually I'm not actually trying to do more on the date. Like, because I didn't have that experience before. Like, is this real? Is this like some sort of erotic visual novel game in which you just make a choice and suddenly there's like an erotic scene on the screen or something? Well, that was a tangent, but and then the next thing was, okay, now I can consistently go for the kiss, and then consistently getting the kiss more.
Correct.
Just because when going for the kiss, I get the kiss, and then I think the next thing. And then there was one girl that the first date I thought was kind of, I don't know how I did. And then you said, let's go on a second date. Go on a second date. And then I kissed her on the second date. And I was glowing because she actually, I think, kissed me. Well, I kind of basically I did everything you said. And then she's the one that expressed interest in me. And then we kissed. I was like, wow. Just boom. That was another reality change.
Yep.
And then the next reality change was we did a home date where we cooked at my place, like literally how you told me to do. It was as if you were directing and producing my life. And we cooked, we said, we're going to watch a movie. So we put the movie on, and then basically, it went towards me bringing her to my room, and then we had sex, which was the first time I ever had sex in my whole life. And then he said pretty much something like, yeah, I've been there before. I know. You're totally on surplus that's
every date sequence happens like that. Once you've done it, it just repeats itself.
And then this was now the end of 2023. So this now started going from the first dates to having my first sexual experience was 3 or 4 months. And now in January, the new task became, well, first I thought, well, this is kind of going really quickly, but you just said, do this. I was like, okay, all right. So pull them home on the first date.
Correct.
Go for a kiss and just doing the way you described, where going into too much detail, then ask them to come home. And that's how I would describe her as my first lover ever had in my life. I pulled her home and we had sex for, I don't know, we were in my bed for 3 or 4 hours. It was just, I don't know. It was the next reality
Another
ship.
dimension unlocked.
Yeah, another dimension change. And then for the next 12 weeks, average, I saw her once a week, and I had sex with her minimum one time every time we met. So sometimes twice.
Amazing.
And at some point, basically, like a better term, she was like totally in love with me. She was saying, "Oh, I stopped seeing other people." And I didn't even ask. She said, "Yeah, I stopped seeing other people." And yeah, just wow, this is what whatever that is, that experience is. And then though, she eventually wanted for me to not see other girls, but first she said, "I don't want you to have sex as good as we do with other girls." But then after a week or two, she said, "Going to see, can we just
other girls?"
Yeah. I mean, I really did like her, right? And she's going to have a lasting part of my memories. But then we had set for the next goal.
Correct.
For that is what was not what she was suggesting, which was to cultivate, advance other skills, things that because we both felt like we needed to keep going.
Yep.
So yeah, it was painful, but I already had this vision that I had, but you helped delineate further in this specific realm of my life, and it could really fit in with all the other things.
Yep.
And then this is now in May of 2024.
Okay. So yeah, like 5.
Yeah, that was the next, 4 or 5 months. And then there were other girls that also pulled home, things like that.
Yep.
And then summertime is when, to my mind, you thought, okay, you this part of it is I can keep doing on my own. It's now for me, and this me thinking what you were saying. Oh,
sure,
it's comfortable, you can do it, you had this, but now let's just keep going and increase the momentum to this is great, but then you have the momentum. Let's keep going, and that's yes, celebrate, but there's still more, which I really appreciated actually. And then it was next I live in New York City, and I live in a neighborhood where there are so many beautiful women. And I remember one time you said you have to need it, and it has to hurt. It has to hurt.
Yeah.
And then at some point on the dating apps, the dates I was getting, and I was not getting dates with the girls that I thought were the most attractive on the apps.
Yep.
But then if I'm seeing them in person, I don't need to match with them. I can theoretically just talk with them.
Yep.
And this was probably the hardest thing possibly my entire life. Harder than medical school.
Okay.
Harder than doing a double major pre-med during undergrad.
Really?
Harder than doing residency.
Damn.
Was talking to a random stranger, girl that's attractive, and tell them they're attractive.
Yep.
Because everything else, it's understood that's why you're there. Yep. They're a patient, I'm the doctor, so there's an expectation I'm going to talk to them about their health. But total stranger, just I don't know how to explain. No expectation, or it's just surprising. It's just so basically it was the top 3 things that are scariest.
It's one of men's biggest fears. Like literally, there are men who have gone into war, Navy SEALs, who, when it comes to approaching a girl on the street, or they're at the bar, they're the guy, clenching the beer and in the corner, like they would rather die in combat than essentially lose their ego via potential rejection.
Yeah. And I think additionally, as a only child Asian guy, it was don't bother people. It's bothering people's evil for not evil, but it's just don't do it.
It's in our culture. Be polite. Standoffish.
Don't arouse things or cause stir things.
Correct.
Well, yeah, there's a lot more I can say about that, but that's how I took it, at least. That was what was ingrained in my worldview.
Yep.
So basically, I was doing total opposite, like literally the total opposite of what was imparted to me through a lot of different people. And in a way, it was departing from the things in my life that maybe helped me in the past, but wasn't going to take me where I'm going to go next.
Or adding on to, rounding you out with skills that you can deploy when needed.
Yeah, in other words, it was the part that was missing. It's the missing piece of my life that would roundify the circle that the hole inside that is me. So what I really liked is that we baby step. First, it was more than. It was very hard. I forget what we did first, but it was once you realize it was okay. This is maybe too much right now. Let's make it even simpler. Then we did super baby steps, task at a time. I don't remember what they were exactly, but it was literally just say hello or compliment them or not even compliment. It was just start to say hello. I don't know what it was, but something. It was the super baby step. And at some point we got to almost, we're talking about now the complete process of going on a date from someone that you've met in public in a public space during the day. And I don't, around that time, then you mentioned the idea of doing an immersion, meaning live in person where you are,
which is where we are right
now, and your home base.
Correct. Here in beautiful Buenos Aires,
yes,
Argentina.
Buenos Aires, yes. And I'm pretty sure I just immediately said okay, or maybe it's like 3 seconds. I need to think about it. I even shifted parts of my calendar so I could just make it work because, again, it was just, I knew it was important. I mean, not that I wanted to be afraid or put myself into things that would cause me anxiety, but it's because I knew that it would be worth it. And so far, results great so far. So I had no qualms about doing that. Although I had so many objections from other people I shared my experiences so far. Like, coach, what was the coach? How does a coach help you? How do you become a dating coach? Why a dating coach? And don't compliment people on their looks. And other women said, oh yes, compliment. It was just all sorts of personal, subjective opinion, which are whatever, it's fine. But then I value the words of someone who got me results, already have the results that they're talking about. And I firmly believe that they'll get me the results. So I say, why don't yeah, sure, I like you as a person, but are you going to come with me to Buenos Aires and stand behind me and help me what to say in the moment as I'm making the mistakes? Then no, I'm not going to listen to you. This guy that's got me the success, got me through the mistakes. So I didn't care what they said. It was interesting that they had those objections, but in the past, I think I would have said, okay, maybe I listen to them, but boy, you literally got me my first, I had maybe 3 actual dates before I met you, right?
3.
Maybe at that, with maybe 5 dates total with 3 girls total before age of 38, right? And then 100 dates. Now I have no problem going on a first date. Almost no anxiety. I can tell for high certainty the girl likes me. Do they want me to kiss them? And once I feel that I can do it. I can get a kiss, my first sexual experience, my first lover. I got all these results. So I think that was partly why I said, okay, let's continue and go here. And then what did we do here? We did so many things. We did so many different things, and all of it was great. And if I had to, in my brain, divide it in what we did,
Yep.
the number one thing I came for was the live cold approach, behavioral habit, mindsets change, including the way I'm thinking, feeling, looking, literally, or we went to the alleyway, and then you were pretending to be the girl, and then you made me approach you and then say, hey, see how like you're doing this, and so you're doing immediate feedback.
Like we showed how the body should be with distance, how your feet should be, how your face should be.
Yeah. So immediate feedback, and then we go do it.
Yep.
And versus online, it says, okay, do it by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, you're not with me, so what you were there with me. I remember we turned around the corner and said, okay, we're turn now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm here to...
The first day, how many approaches did you do?
I honestly lost count because I just did so many this whole week that it just became like a daily activity, which one of the things, it is now my current daily activity, regardless of where I am. That's the way I am.
And what I love is that after like 3 or 4 days, probably after like 3 days, you were then already approaching girls on your own. Like without me being like, hey, go fucking run into that girl. You were already just approaching girls because that had integrated into your body, into your reality of who you are. And you had done the process a number of times to where you see, oh, this is normalized.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's, if I had to phrase it in a way, I'll keep going, but just go off what you said. It normalized, made real and normalized the type of man that I believe myself to be,
there you go.
But don't have the experiences to validate in reality.
Yeah, beautiful.
But now I continually have that experiences to prove that reality. When I'll get back to that once I talk about the rest of the trip.
Sure.
So besides the Coda Pro up, I think I got 5 different contacts of immediately meeting girls in person. And that's maybe 5 times the number I've got my entire life before. Even though I've been approaching, I didn't really get numbers per se, contact information. So I was like, well, girls actually give their contact information. Okay. So that was one big chunk of it. And there were other things where interacting and doing something similar in non-daytime events. So whether it's a event or a bar or this area at nighttime, it's really nice. That area. I think it's because out of the streets are. It's very
walkable.
Yeah, it's almost becomes a whole neighborhood becomes like a giant party.
It's a street party.
Yeah. Which was the one main difference from where I live. It's actually a huge difference. That's the one thing that doesn't happen where I'm living. Approaching random girls, groups. In various situations of eating with their friend or walking somewhere or reading a book, just any sort of situation so far that we've done. So that was the second big thing. The third was I've received 10 times more Tinder matches in the past 10 days than I've had before my entire life. It was amazing how easy, it was easy, frankly, to get dates. I essentially had to turn down girls who I already set dates with. Sorry, I can't meet today. I think if I literally had time to see all the girls that I got the numbers and made dates with, I think it would have been 10 or 11 actual dates. But there was only one of me. So yeah, just as a important point, right? I don't live here, right? I'm here for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then I'm leaving. But knowing that these girls still like this person's attractive, I'm gonna go on a date with you. That was the other reality change. Like I knew somewhere theoretically that happens, but now I'm living it. It is literally my reality.
The real thing.
I put on a boost. I'm receiving likes from girls age like early 20s to 30s, right? Let's see. Thursday night, I went on a date with this 21-year-old Bolivian girl. I could tell immediately just because, the other thing is now it built on the other experience we had so far. Because I had the level ups from the first dates, from the dating apps. And now I knew immediately this is the look, the puppy dog, lovey-dovey eyes that even if I knew that way before, I wouldn't have known what to do. But now I knew exactly what to do. I like my arm around her in 5 minutes, kissing her in 15 minutes, making out in 45 minutes, and then back at my Airbnb within 2 hours. And then I met her again today. With as equally a fun time, doing a bunch of things. And then now this is the thing. There's so many that I'm just confusing who was who. And today, theoretically, I would have 4 dates. But again, just one of me. So I already canceled one. I already had one before coming here, and I have another 2 scheduled for later. And it's just this. And one of the things is abundance, right? That's the key thing that comes up and then again and again and again. And I have it, right? It's just a reality. I have it. Yeah, I have. It's there, but also it's not something that's external to me. Like I'm the person that's living a life that has of abundance.
Beautiful.
It's not. I mean, yes, of course, I live in the outside world, but in a sense that I am
the inner beliefs.
Yeah, and my actions reflect. It's kind of chicken and egg, right? It's the actions, results, but also just who I am.
Correct.
And we talked about unlearning, and for me, also, this is very spiritual. This whole thing. Becoming a whole person, unlearning the things that are causing dis-ease, unease in my life. At that point, I was having issues with relationship with my parents. My practice was doing okay, but nowhere. I still had my $250,000 school loans and not making as much money as full time, and it was just all sorts of. But I still had this. Okay, I still want to stay here because it was spiritually important for me. Some people ask me, do you ever want to go back to your previous job? And immediately I say, I'd literally rather die. So in a sense, I was pursuing parts of my life that was going to get me new places. And the dating, I firmly believe, 100%, since that, it has helped me improve my relationship with my parents. It's never better than before. Number 2, I've had more patients come to my practice. I've had just generally happier, feeling that I'm becoming more of a complete, like a healed person. But I knew for me that was, like I said in the beginning, that was the entryway that will unblock all those other things, which it has done.
Why do you think the dating?
All those things. Like I said before, it was the thing that was the scariest, most don't do it, in psychological terms, the most shadow, hidden, scariest, feared parts.
Yes.
So my hope and belief was whenever you take care of or addressing that scariest thing, then other things get unlocked. And maybe tomorrow it won't be dating. Maybe it's something else. But because for me, it was so many years of this is the core shadow thing that was unaddressed. So you just keep going with this particular aspect of my life that is unlocking all the other parts. Which is what we did here, changing the reality of there was the other day I forget where we were going, randomly on the street. We're just walking on the street midday, and it was a girl in a very nice outfit. And from the side, I think I find her attractive. Both just her and what she's wearing. And she was at a stoplight. And I said, all right, there we go. I think it's attractive. I'm a guy that approaches girls and talks to them in a way that's girl receptive to talking to me. And she said, no, I asked her eventually, hey, do you have time to go out a little bit later to get something? She said, no, I can't. I'm leaving in 4 hours, but we can go on a walk right now. So basically, she also asked me for my name. Like, what is your name? We can basically go on an instant date right now. And then reality, again, we talked about that. That's possible, but it's like, oh, and once it happens, then I know that it will happen again. It's just real. It's just turned real. It turned from a theoretical, I think this is possible, to this is literally, I am that man that lives that life and has that habit, way of thinking, way of feeling, way of talking. And also the thing is, the biggest thing was fear of rejection, right? That what if the girl says no, and then just the basic human fear. But not that I don't care about rejection, is I'm the guy that they're attractive, I'm going to talk with them, regardless of whatever they may say. I'm just expressing what is in me in a way that gets conveyed the way I want it conveyed. And I have a result I want, but it's not as if somehow I'm a bad person or my value as a person is decreased or the world hates me or something. It's just, okay, she said no. All right. Literally, that's all it is. That's all it means. There's no, that's because I'm Asian or I'm not good looking or my eye is this way or whatever.
Your entire relationship with the opposite sex. Pretty much. Most guys have those thoughts constantly on their inner dialogue every single day, even when they're not even interacting with women. And that prevents them from even starting to begin with.
And a lot of other things that I think were very core from things we did in the dating is being, I call it being intentional, and the intention of being a man. Like, this is the type of man I am / becoming. And it's, how to describe it, but in vague terms, I'm a masculine man, right? And there are various things in the program that we talked about to do that. And now people tell me that, even told me that, I think you said that people we met at the party the other day that they thought I'm extroverted.
Exactly.
Well, I kind of got that from other places, but I feel like dating kind of made it, fleshed out all the parts where I don't even need to turn it on. It's just, I'm there in a social context and I want to be social, then I'm not going to be like, oh, I need to be social now.
It's not this on-off switch that most guys have. Like, when you're first learning dating, it's like, I'm in non-social mode. Now I gotta get into social mode.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's just who you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, you roll out of bed, you see a girl in the corner. Okay, I go talk to her.
Exactly.
I'm at a party. I'm at an event. I'm at a conference.
Yeah.
Well, what do I do? Of course, I just talk to everybody.
And to reemphasize, all those things are also things that were missing. That particular part was missing in my work life, my relationship with my parents. More like relationship with my parents. The hard thing was telling them what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like, it's a funny story. It was my mother's birthday.
Yeah.
And my mother and my father, and I was telling them, oh, they're retired. They can go on more trips and do this and do that. My father's like, oh, but then we have to pay the paper bills, and who's going to pay them? And that, I can just help you automate them. But like, oh no, blah, blah, blah. And my mother, I was being the man, right? An adult in the relationship, as opposed to being like, oh, I'm the child. I kind of have to please him. I'd be a victim, whatever. And my mother then said, yes, your father is always very this way. And then he was saying, oh, how come you're too bullying me on my birthday, on your mother's birthday? I mean, the point of the story is that they saw that I think they were just worried about me. Like they treated me as a child. And I always thought, once you stop treating me like a child, I can become an adult. But I realized it was through dating programs. It helped me become the man I am /was becoming. They saw that. It's like, okay, now they don't treat me that way because of me being more leading in conversation with them.
Well, you're showing up as a man.
Yes, exactly.
Then I'm going to treat you like a child.
Which the thing is, just because you have a job, you get paid $250, $1 million, whatever. You know, how much it does not mean you are mature. It just means externally those are the things. But what is the internal development that happened? And I think that's for me working with you, that was that I saw the internal change happening as we did the external tasks. Well, not just a task, but also we looked at, this is the vision, or this is where we're going. We settled together, and then this is how we're going to get there. And for me, I understood that process before, but I just didn't have someone to take me there. So to kind of pull those two things is that dating was the secret key or whatever, the entryway catalyst to open up things, all these areas of my life. And I mean, there are more. Again, I got more patience. Better relationships at work, parents. I was able to move on from other things in my past. And then what is this? This is Sunday now on our trip.
Correct.
And I feel so, I mean, typically when we say we're done, you think it was a negative thing. I am cooked. I am marinating. I taste good. I can do more things, maybe bonus things, and maybe add a little mint on top for extra flavor, but I am really satisfied. I knew what I was going to get out of this trip. But it's reality. It's not just, this is what I think I'm going to get. It's
not theory
happened. It is reality. And I had, on the way I was there, I was thinking, oh, when I go back, I'm going to keep doing it. I flipped it and said, I am a person that does this anywhere. It's not the action that I want to do. It's not, I'm going to do it later. It's, I'm just the guy who does those things.
That's who you are. You
Yeah.
came here through immersion in a set of new behaviors. You now see yourself in a different way. So the behaviors come automatic.
Exactly. And I think the one thing working with you really helps is, this is where several times we did, this is where you started. This is where you are now. And this is things that we are looking forward to go. And these are the ways to get there. It's big, but also small. It's collects the possibilities, but it's making real what it is that I wanted. Well, I guess we both wanted for me, but you were there, right? Yeah, my thought process kind of there.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing. You
Yeah.
literally told the whole story. I was just marinating, just enjoying the whole thing, just reflecting back on the whole journey. I mean, Jesus, literally from when I met you to now, the transformation is so dramatic. What I like the most is honestly the way you showed up, asking questions, taking action, investing in yourself, jumping into your fears and anxieties, the things that you knew you needed to do, but are scary. They're scary for everyone.
No,
they're scary for everyone. I mean, let's not lie. Every single guy, at some point in his life, saw a woman walk down the street and thought she was beautiful and wished that they could talk to them. Like that happens like 20 times a day, right? Like, and that demon in your head that's like, no, she's busy. No, I'm going to disturb her. No, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. She's out of my league. Blah, 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 blah. That can go on a lifetime. That can go on to your deathbed, right? And most guys will just statistically end up marrying a partner they're not actually satisfied with. They're settling. The woman is also settling. They are just going to deal with each other because they'd rather be together than be alone. All right. So, yeah, actually, I'm curious, where do you see yourself going from here in terms of dating and maybe how that fits into your life overall?
Yeah. The other thing that we did, which I didn't mention much, was the big picture and specifics of the type of person, qualities. Sure. That is the woman that is with the man I am. Correct. To phrasing it in that way. And
your dream woman.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now, I feel like there's still pieces of that shadow of the approach and things I want to turn into more realities, which is going from total stranger, I find it super attractive where I am, and going from stranger to interaction to dates to intimacy.
Yeah.
Right. And making that a reality and realizing I'm the man that has that reality.
Yeah.
That's abundance to the abundance power, I suppose.
I like
that it doesn't, it's just becomes the new, that is the new world that I am exploring to reach right now. And then as I fine tune things I don't like and things I don't do like, or who the dream woman is,
correct.
And which will it'll evolve in a sense, because so in the past my dream woman was based on, I don't know what's based on, like literally maybe my dreams, not actual reality, data points. Flesh out that picture to much of extent possible. Also, maybe have a diminishing returns. Like I don't need to go on like a million dates. Say every date I go on, maybe I'll learn a little bit less. At some point, I'm learning a lot. At some point, like okay, I have enough data to make a very, very good, strong decisions to get data points on in being in the relationships. And I think we said to be able to get into a long-term relationship with the woman that fulfills many to all of my criteria.
Yes.
Also to, I don't think I'm sure you know this, although I haven't really shared it. One of the big things, it's like the exploratory, like open-mindedness, even with sexuality.
Yes.
Like they're just, there's so many things that I thought were just things on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
fantasy.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's all sorts of things like, wow, okay, this girl literally wants this from me. Well, okay then. And then those are other things that, is that something I want more of, or I don't know. So that is a big part of the what do I want in a relationship?
Yeah.
And specifically, what are like that sexual part of it. So I will say that's number 2. And yeah, so we did strangers through dating apps online, strangers through everyday life.
Mhm.
And then maybe or maybe not, that's just something we'll talk about is, okay, now I'm a key, super high value, important thing for me in a dream woman is sharing these values.
Okay.
And these are the places I know those people go to.
Yes.
And how things are different or the same interacting in those places. Again, that's something that may be for later, but right now
Well,
those
like
are
social circle, game, networking, access.
Yeah. So those are right now the order of things that I feel like important to me. So get to a certain level of the cold approach, dating. Number 2, exploring what I want in a daily romantic relationship. Or maybe I don't want a long-term romantic relationship. I don't know. Maybe I want multiple romantic relationships.
Exactly.
Whatever. I don't know.
Knowing what you want.
I also, but the thing is, fleshing out my reality with those experience points, not just, oh, yeah, we need to get married or whatever. It's, how do I know? Correct. How do I know that that's what I want? I say there's a strong possibility it is, but until I have the reality, I just don't know. And ideally, hopefully find out sooner than later. But that's one of the things that I don't know how long this usually takes for the usual person, but I was just all in. I think that's the way to put it.
That's the key, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, there is no, I mean, to answer your question, there is no right?
Yeah.
Like your timeline has shrunk considerably compared to most guys because they just don't take action. They don't go all in. So you're gaining EXP points on a compound curve right now. Like soon around the corner, you're going to have enough data points to know A, who your dream woman is. B, what type of relationship suits you for the long term or what kind of lifestyle, right? And you're going to have all the skills in all the categories to be able to meet women in different ways. So you're never going to have that scarcity mindset of like, if it doesn't work out, fuck, if I go back on the streets, I'm single again. What happens to me? I got to stay with, no, you're never going to have that. And that's what truly makes you secure in the choice that you make with your romantic life, your romantic partner.
I think the part of it that is very important, I didn't mention, is the example I would use. I'm going to go on it with a date, and I'm talking about some sort of niche, nerdy, geeky interest I have. And I have a lot of those. But then showing up as me, regardless of what I'm talking about, is being natural and more me, as opposed to trying to inflate something I do. It made me more, help me show up more as who I am in the scariest types of environments, which was with a girl on a date. But, I can talk about some random thing, like whether it is because they're genuinely interested in me or I'm just totally showing up as me. And that's, I think, the part of being totally natural, authentic is one of my themes in my life. It's like, this guy's just him. He's not trying to impress me.
Correct.
He's just impressive. Yeah. And whatever that thing may be. In the past, I thought, why not talk about this? Because it's kind of not, I don't think girls will like this, or I don't know if they'll like this, and things like that. I'll kind of hide that part.
Correct.
But from this program and the dating, I realized the more I'm me, the more I'll attract the people that actually care about the things I'm going to talk about anyway, and they'll like me. And other people will just disappear, or I don't know, I just won't even meet them. Or people will be turned on more by me because it's just who he is. And they may not even know anything about what I'm saying. I was like, he's just, yeah.
Most of the time, the girls aren't caring about the topic that you're talking about. It's the way that you're talking about, the enthusiasm, the passion, the emotion. That's like a whole painting to them. It's a whole experience, you know? So you being passionate about the things that you are, and then giving yourself the freedom to express that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Makes that's a universally attractive trait.
But that's something that I learned. Something that was theoretical for me. But when I'm going on the dates, I was talking about the first doctrinal meaning to make the doctrine of Christianity in 4th century AD. And this girl was like enamored. And just topic that I was talking about. But I just felt free being me. Just, this is what I want to talk about right now because the conversation went that way.
Yep.
And in that situation, it's just, I think that was the other thing. It helped me not become unnatural or inauthentic in situations where I don't feel comfortable or I don't want to be rejected or this person's going to judge me or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. In a way, not caring. I care, but not shifting my priorities or over prioritizing what I think someone wants above what I want. Because that's one of those psychological defense where I think I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's making it up. I could be right, but I could be totally wrong.
Yeah.
In that sense, let's just show up. I think that's the summary of this little showing up.
Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I think if I were to summarize the whole transformation, the whole shift, which is the root of really any transformation, is not only did you do the things, which you did very diligently, but you became the man. You became the person, and it became a core part of you. You can't lose it anymore.
I think you also, the way you phrased it the other day, which is a core thing where I look at it, is unlearning things.
Sure.
It's, yes, you're becoming, but also it's almost like unsheathing.
Yep, beautiful.
Whatever, past, it becomes there's not any, then time thing.
Become more centered in the core of who you actually are.
Yes.
Instead of what society has programmed you to be.
But in a sense, you're also at the same time uncovering the thing. Well, for me, the way I describe it, I'm whole, but now we're using the nutrients in that whole to cultivate, to make further branches and seeds and to flourish and cultivate more. But can't do that if the seed is covered with whatever, lead or things like that.
Poisonous, hazardous stuff.
Yeah.
Beautiful, man. To kind of wrap this all up, what would you say to anybody who's thinking about working with me in any capacity?
Well, to summarize, results I've gotten, not just in the dating world, but for me, that's unleashed all these other aspects. And maybe for someone else that is dating, maybe for someone else that's something else. I think the results speak. That my results are saying, you got me these results. And if someone thinks you'll get them results, then invest in what will get you results. I think it's very obvious. I think by results speak. If you want results, and there's I'll say obvious sense that I think most people would know. Okay, this guy will give me results or not.
And
it's more about, I don't know. Well, it's unlearning the things that, why wouldn't I work with you? It's okay. You explain the results. You got people results. You can get that person results. Then But yeah, which that thing sounds obvious.
I mean, perfectly said. Pretty much the first step for any guy in this journey anyways is confronting the fear and doubt and anxiety that comes with even embarking on this journey.
Yeah.
Right. So even you may not even realize it, but before you overcame the fear of approaching a woman, you overcame the fear of saying, well, hey, I need help with this.
Yeah.
And it's okay if I don't know everything and I get some guidance and I take action. I become the student. And that humility, that recognition of, I mean, that's the same way I got here too.
Mm-hmm.
I've had my various dating mentors, that I invested in because I saw potential in what they could teach me, right? So that's how we all get anywhere that we want to in a contracted period of time in our lives. So anyways, man, thank you so much for sharing. That was just beautiful. I enjoyed marinating and all of that. I think that went on for probably twice as long as we expected. But I'm sure everybody, here hopefully got some kind of value from your story here. So let's keep pushing this thing and take it to exactly where your end goal is with dating, man.
Yeah.